Good evening, or whatever time it is you're watching this. Sean here. It's 11 months since I recorded anything. I did have 3 videos that didn't make it up to posting from 11 months ago that are up as of midnight last. And it's been quite a roller coaster. Had some surgery, came out of that with what they called a traction injury that hurt incredibly. Made it very difficult to move my left arm in any position. So that took a while to recover from, and then both of my knees went out. I was actually having to use a cane or walking stick to get around, and that really wiped me out. And I was hitting the point where I was wondering if I was ever going to get back to this. But I looked at it and said, I really want to. So one more try here to see if I can get consistent with this. And hopefully I can. So some definite changes that should help that. As much as I loved that Canon HG10 and still do, it's a great video camera. The fact that you have to go to Canon's museum site to find any specifications on it says a lot. So after him and hawing over the cameras that I would like to have and deciding there simply was no way I was going to afford the price tag on those things, it's kind of egad. I found a relatively inexpensive camcorder that will shoot in an MP4 format, should upload directly to YouTube without having to do any post-processing. In the format I'm shooting, 2.7K, 60 frames per second, I am limited to about a 16 minute some seconds before it decides to create a second file, which then would have to be stitched together. So I'm going to be actually running a timer for 15 minutes to say, got to keep it within that. So there's definitely some topics I want to cover that I'm going to have to do in multi-parts. So that hopefully will actually help with viewing, because it's not always possible to find a half hour or more to watch a video. You might want to do it in sequences. So a few changes in my approach. I'm going to get a lot more into details, nuts and bolts, stuff that initially I was kind of wondering, did I really want to get into that? I wasn't quite comfortable. I've thought about it a lot. I will be. So one of the first topics I'm going to be addressing in detail is spellcraft, my approach to how I do that. I do not use other people's spells. I write everything myself from scratch, and I'll show you the approach on that. And then also there's 2 different buckets that really I go into. There's the stuff that's definitely has a recipe. Just like baking bread, you got a set recipe. To deviate from it, the bread usually isn't coming out very well. Well, there is spell work, especially herbal medicine spell work, where that's the same thing of you need to have the proper recipe of what's going into that, and then you're supercharging it with your magical intentions. And that's true when I say herbal medicine. That's when you ingest, you put it on your skin, you're breathing vapors in, anything where it's going into your body. And if something goes on your skin, well, things go through the skin, so it's still going into your body. That is where you have to be very careful on your recipes. And then the other bucket is dealing with things that are not going into your body. And I have very much a systems approach on that, where you have to understand the system you're trying to impact in order to impact it, which can get complicated. The first topic I'll be addressing is actually weather, rain spells, which around here in the summertime is kind of important. At times you want to add a little rain, whether it's because it's very dry and dusty and you want to cut the dust, or more often it is really smoky from wildfires. You're hoping to clean the air, help suppress the fires a little bit, knock them back some, so the fire crews can do their job better and safer. So that's the first area I'll go into. And I'm going to need a whiteboard for that because I'll be drawing stuff out as part of the explanation. And then I'll be going into some stuff that frankly can be used for ill or good. It's going to depend on your perspective and what you're trying to do with it. I'm going to discuss what level you want to do, provide examples. But the first one's going to be on weather modification. So that's where I'm at. And a few things I want to say. One, I got to admit, I never thought anyone would follow my channel. I figured I was probably just speaking into the void, and maybe sometime somebody might run across it, like it, but never really expected anyone would follow it. I actually do have a few people that have followed the channel, and I want to address those people specifically. Thank you. That was very kind of you to do so, and I hope you have something out of it. And I'm going to try and be a whole lot more consistent to share my thoughts. I encourage you, I'm going to do better for monitoring any comments. I haven't received any so far. Have questions, areas you'd like me to expand or address, give thoughts on, by all means, let me know. I am in the USA. I said that before. And if you're here in the USA or you're in another country and paying attention to what's going on here, you know that things are not real good here. That's putting it mildly. We have government forces that are frankly executing people in the street simply for recording. I've carefully reviewed the videos for murder of Renee Good, for Mr. Preddy, and looking at it through the lens of my years, decades really, of experience with investigations and all. No, those were not justified. And in the case of Renee Good, I saw a number of elements that made me think that the ICE agent who shot her and killed her basically set the thing up to have a pretext. So I want to be very clear where I stand on this. I don't want to turn this into a political channel, but I do want to be clear that I categorically do not support any of this. And if you do support this current regime, if you support the behavior that we're seeing from ICE, Customs and Border Patrol, Department of Homeland Security, the rhetoric coming out of there, the rhetoric coming out of the White House, this administration, you're on the wrong channel. You should go find some Christian nationalists, Aryan Nations, white supremacy channel, some channel that adores fascism, because that is absolutely what this administration is doing. They definitely fit the academic definition. And I don't want you here. Flat out. I don't want you here. On the other hand, you look at what's going on and you are appalled. You are very welcome here. So hopefully things will improve. Certainly for a practitioner of the craft, for a pagan, and both. The rhetoric coming out of the White House is concerning. I've seen stuff that basically says I'm considered an enemy of the state for not being a right-wing conservative Christian. For a nation that was founded on religious freedom, that's pretty extreme. Mighty extreme. So I'm going to keep posting. I keep speaking out because in the end run, there's a question of, in 1930s Germany, what would you have done? Well, turns out I would have been one of the people that the 1930s German government killed, made disappear, because I wouldn't have gone along. And I'm not going along with what we're seeing with the Trump administration, the Trump regime. So you're feeling scared, feeling targeted. This is a safe space for you to be. At least for me. But who knows how long it's going to be for any of us. Hopefully things will turn around. So we're calling this one a wrap for tonight. I need to go take care of the horse water. It's probably about time to flow over. This is in my grain room where I'm shooting because it's still getting dark fairly early, so I need some place that's lit. Be well. Be well, my blessed folks.